Welcome to my build of our Piper Cub J3. Today I'm going to be carrying on the process of covering the plane, and I'm now starting to do the wings. Hopefully you'll have seen the previous video where I did the fuselage, which is now finished. I'm going to be, as with the fuselage, I'm going to be covering it in this Piper Cub yellow. This is latex that I got from World Models and seems to be going on quite nicely. Predominantly I'm going to be using my Prolux heating iron, and I've got a couple of clean spare socks should I need them if I get a little bit of glue that starts smearing as I'm putting it on. I've also got a heat gun. I use this very sparingly, if at all. It's not something I like using because it's a little bit unpredictable sometimes on the amount of heat. It's very easy to put too much heat and to damage the film. So only use that if I've got a very difficult wrinkle or crease that I just want to put a little bit more heat onto. But like I say, I don't like using that if I can help it. So I'll get on and start this now, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to do the underside first, and then do the top surfaces. I think that's probably the best way of doing it. Every time I do this, do a wing or do a fuselage, I end up doing it slightly different, and I guess it's kind of part of it really. It's a learning process, trying to find the best way forward. So anyway, I'll get on and start that now. Right, well, I have now got this wing covered. on this underside, just on the one side, and I'm quite pleased with that. Just a few things just to explain my thought process. I said about using the hot air gun, and I wouldn't use it unless it was just the odd tight wrinkle or something. Once I'd got this tacked on, there was quite a big crease here. I think it was around here, and if I'd used the iron, it would have probably folded the film over and put a crease that would never come out. So I used the hot air gun. I tacked around it and used the hot air gun to take out the excess, and then I could iron it down. And actually, that's ended up lovely and smooth now. So that was quite a good use of the hot air gun. What I should have perhaps done first, and I have done this before and I just forgot today, is on the inside corners of the aileron bay, I should have perhaps just done a little bit lapping around on the inside that this could then cover onto. I will do that now, and then when I do the top coat, that will go over that. On the wingtips, it's a very thin edge here, and I've just lapped it onto that edge there. I could have lapped it onto the wood here, which would have made it a lot stronger, but I was concerned that if the film goes onto the wood here, when I'm putting the top coat on, if the film sticks onto the film on this wood, it will stick down and it won't look right, and I won't be able to lift it up. Whereas if when I'm putting the film on, I can lap it onto there, and I will do a seam underneath which will strengthen it, and if it does stick down onto this wood, it won't, it should, with a bit of heat, it should be able to lift it off, which I don't believe it would do probably if it was film on film. Anyway, that was my thought process, and like I say, I will be doing a seam around this underside here, as neat as I can. It probably won't end up looking brilliant, but it will be on the underside rather than on the top side. And on this end here, I haven't shrunk the film yet. You can see it's still a little bit loose, the odd wrinkle. That will come out nice, but I didn't want to put any tension on this end and pull it off and have problems. So I'll wait till I've finished the top side, lapped it round, and then I'll do all that. I mean, I'm a huge learning curve when it comes to doing this kind of covering. I'm certainly no expert, but hopefully if you see how I do it, maybe it'll help you, whether that's showing you what not to do or giving you some ideas. But like I say, I'm not an expert. Every time I do a wing or a fuselage, I do it a little bit different. I learn something new, and it is a real learning process, this, and there are some very skilled people out there who can do absolutely fantastic jobs. Okay, well, I'm going to take a short break now, and then I will do the underside of the other wing, I think, before moving on to the top. Well, that's the second wing, or the second side of the wing completed. I've still, as with the first wing, it's still a little bit loose around here because, as I said, I don't want to try shrinking it at the moment because it'll just pull off this thin narrow holding here. So that's good, I'm pleased. It doesn't look too bad. Now I need to move on to the top surface. Well, I've now finished the wing, with the exception of the ailerons, which I'll do in a bit. That got a little bit stressful at times. I'm happy with the overall look of it and how it's gone on, but I did slip with my scalpel and I put a little slice in the covering here. At that point I'd already stuck it onto the film on the underside and here, and it would have been really difficult to take off without making a mess. So I've just put a little bit of a patch on here. I'm not overly happy with it, but these things happen, and I can put the decal. The decal is going to go on here, and the number, there's a number that will cover that nicely, I'm sure. So it's kind of not a problem, it's just I just find it frustrating or annoying. I also made a little bit of an error here and had to put on a little bit of a patch, which doesn't really show at the moment. I guess it will with time. So I've learned a lot doing this. I learn a lot every time I do a covering. I use the hot air gun a lot more this time. Hopefully you'll see from the high-speed film if that comes out okay. I tacked it around the edges and then shrunk it as a whole, really, and that worked really nice. I was quite pleased with that. So I'll get on with the ailerons now, and it'll be nice to get this finished. Well, it's a real relief to get this finished now, get it covered, to get the decal on, and I've got the ailerons fitted, and I've also got the servo and the control linkages for the ailerons. I must say, I've got this on the maximum I can, for the maximum throws on the ailerons, and it just about does what I need. If I find that I need more movement, I'm going to have a problem. I'd have to put a slightly longer servo arm just to get a little bit more leverage. But as I say, with this setup I'm getting exactly what they say on the plan, so hopefully that should be okay, but I guess I won't know until I take it to the air, so which won't be too long now.